As you can see, Longhorse is a creature with a horse skull and no jaw. Its head is connected to an endlessly long neck. It has a few strands of black hair on its neck and head. By the way, the horse's neck makes a distinctive cracking noise when it bends, and no one has ever seen the horse's body itself, so there could be two possibilities. Either there is a body, but it is located someplace far away from the head, or there is no body at all, and the creature is more like an endless snake with a horse's head. Now let's talk about its origins. On August 24, 2018, Trevor Henderson posted the very first photo of Longhorse. Later, he posted another photo, somewhere in the suburbs. It was under this photo that Trevor wrote the caption, "Longhorse," thereby giving the creature its name. An ancient cave painting of a long horse and three men has also been found, suggesting that it has been around since ancient times. Interestingly, despite its intimidating appearance, it is completely harmless to humans. The Longhorse can predict disasters and teleport. It uses its abilities to warn people of disasters. It is able to break the law of physics, can defy gravity, and apparently levitate. It can twist its body and change the number of joints in its neck. Thanks to its properties, its neck doesn't have to connect in linear space. Trevor Henderson himself said that Longhorse is very curious by nature. It is friendly, smells like cinnamon, and its skin resembles wax. In addition, it loves attention and all sorts of treats, like apples. By the way, on top of all that, it has the ability to penetrate people's dreams, but only to warn them of an impending disaster. But beware, friends, rumor has it that in addition to the good Longhorse, there is also an evil version. You should never mix them up under any circumstances. The evil Longhorse is red, has eyes and a lower jaw. It is able to appear and disappear quickly and also traps and attacks its victims. Siren Head is a 12-meter-tall creature with mummified skin. His arms and legs are incredibly thin and long, while his hands have giant sharp-clawed fingers. Instead of a neck, he has something like a pole or street lamp with sirens attached to it. That's why he is known as Siren Head. By the way, in some pictures, you can see jaws that look like he's screaming, with teeth and a long tongue sticking out. He uses his sirens to lure his victims. They can play loud sounds, siren sounds, air alarms, music, emergency broadcasts, and more. On top of that, he can imitate voices of different people and animals. Siren Head can, for example, call for help like a human, thus attracting new victims. Moreover, he can camouflage as a tree or a street lamp, staying motionless for several days and attacking his victims when they show. Siren Head lives in the countryside, in faraway towns and forests, where he can lure in locals, travelers, and even children. He is a predator, but no one knows if he eats his victims or hunts them just for fun. Some people believe that Siren Head is actually SCP Object 6789. You can even find YouTube videos about this. But don't believe everything you hear and fact-check all information. We did some reading and found out that SCP-6789 is actually some sort of swamp inhabited by weird crustaceans. Meanwhile, Siren Head isn't an SCP and will never be. According to other sources, Siren Head was first spotted in 1966 in a cemetery near Arizona. Not many people managed to escape from this creature, only 9 to be precise. Apart from that, there are rumors that Siren Head appeared way before humans, and in North America, people have found cave paintings that depict something very similar to Siren Head, but they could be just really good fake paintings. So, Cartoon Cat is an animated character that looks like an anthropomorphic cat. It mostly lives in old abandoned buildings, probably because there he can hunt without being bothered. The main features of this monster are his black fur, his big round eyes, and his gruesome smile with human teeth. On top of that, he has very large limbs, which can bend in different places and directions. By the way, his body is also capable of deforming. According to some rumors, this cat can regenerate and could even be immortal. Like other characters from his universe, Cartoon Cat is very powerful and can run at a speed of 60 miles per hour. So Tony, you won't have a chance trying to run away. He would easily catch you and tear you apart. You are like a bug to him. Because he's so strong, he can destroy entire buildings. But let's see if there is a way to defeat this monster. Weapons are basically useless because Cartoon Cat has a very thick skin. Maybe we could finish him with a powerful ballistic missile. Oops, I left mine at home. What about you, Tony? Well, we don't have one. What can we do then? Let me think, Tony. I know, use this. It is some yarn. Throw it at the cat. Go on, it should work. Yeah! I think he's gonna be playing for a while. So for now, we can tell our viewers how this monster came about. Many of you probably know that this is another creation of famous artist Trevor Henderson. Cartoon Cat first appeared on August 10, 2018. Some people believe that it is based on Felix the Cat from an old cartoon named The Adventures of Felix, which was aired for the first time back in 1919. Trevor hasn't said if this is true or not. Nevertheless, there are several similarities. According to Henderson, Cartoon Cat is one of the scariest and most dangerous monsters he had created. Other creatures made by Trevor prefer to stay away from Cartoon Cat and are even scared of him. And rightly so, because it is very hard to defeat this agile, incredibly strong, and very resistant monster. Only a giant could do it, and we're not sure if they would be successful. By the way, friends, if you are interested in the classification of monsters in the Trevor Henderson mythos, then Cartoon Cat is on the tier C, among other famous creatures like Siren Head. The Great Mother Megaphone resembles a Siren Head, which you probably remember, but instead of two sirens, it only has one huge megaphone. And it has a white skin tone. And of course, it's bigger than a regular Siren Head. Bigger, even bigger, like that. It's more than 100 meters tall, and it weighs 10,000 tons. Oops, we shouldn't be talking about others people's weight. Sorry, ma'am. Moving on. According to some rumors, the Great Mother Megaphone is one of the oldest creatures in our world and has been wandering the Earth for more than 40,000 years. Oops, where are my manners today? No more talking about other people's age or weight. The Great Mother Megaphone is the progenitor of all Malaphites, which include Siren Heads and all their relatives. Like the Siren Heads, it can emit different sounds in a 100-mile radius of its location. If you happen to be in a 30 to 40-mile radius, you can become permanently deaf or even die. Nevertheless, this monster rarely uses its megaphone to kill. If the Great Mother Megaphone wants to kill, it simply screams and summons its faithful and very aggressive Malaphites. Its call is answered by Siren Heads and headlights, similar creatures with a lamp for a head. Other creatures that come out are Chimney Heads, who instead of a head have a cavity and smoke can be seen coming out of there. And the last child of the Great Mother Megaphone is Big Siren, a similar creature to Siren Head, but much bigger, and small Siren Heads come out of Big Siren. The Great Mother Megaphone is one of the giants of the Trevor Henderson universe. It can destroy mountains, forests, and whole cities. There's no known weapon that could hurt it in the least. Moreover, it emits an electromagnetic impulse that turns off any electronic devices in a 100-mile radius. But it prefers to call its little servants to do its dirty work, instead of attacking itself. That's the reason why no one has seen it with their own eyes. Anyway, an encounter with this monster wouldn't end up well for you, especially because the Great Mother Megaphone, unlike other monsters from the Trevor Henderson universe, is a sentient being that can think and plan. Ooh, here comes our giant monster. Let's start. As I said, this is one of the giants in the Trevor Henderson universe. It moves on 4 legs and has a huge, long neck, which is usually hidden in the clouds along with its head. Tentacles hang from it right down to the ground. With them, Day 17 can take people straight to the sky. No one knows what happens to the giant's victims there. After analyzing this picture of the monster, we can conclude that it is about 11 kilometers high. In addition, it is known that Day 17 is a storm creature. Because its appearance is always followed by storms, hurricanes, strong winds, rain, and lightning. Generally speaking, this gigantic creature is capable of causing enormous damage, or even destroying an entire world. It is the ability to manipulate reality and people's faith, and the laws of physics simply don't affect it. The monster's skin is incredibly thick and strong, so no weapon in existence is capable of harming it. They say that only a doomsday device can destroy this giant. It is a hypothetical device capable of destroying all life on Earth or even Earth itself at once. Therefore, because of its abilities, Day 17 is considered one of Trevor Henderson's most powerful giants. But is it as dangerous as it looks? Did you know, for example, that the creature's real name is the Wandering Faith? And there is an explanation for that. There is a theory that with its tentacles, the giant takes people of faith to heaven and gives them eternal life in paradise in gratitude for their faith in God. So, according to this theory, Day 17 is a harmless creature of divine origin. However, another version claims that the monster, on the contrary, takes lost souls, after which eternal torment awaits them. A third theory denies any divine origin and states that Day 17 doesn't take people to heaven with its tentacles, but simply eats them. We don't know the truth because no one has yet returned from above. Even Trevor himself said that the goals of all his giants remain beyond our understanding. And also, he mentioned that there is a separate universe in which all the giants live. It is in another dimension. So, their appearance in our world is the consequence of some anomaly and the intersection of different dimensions. But to get at least some sense of the truth and to understand what exactly Day 17 does, I will tell you an ancient legend. Hear it, and you can then decide for yourselves what to believe. One day, an unusual storm raged over a small town, and soon afterwards, the inhabitants saw a giant creature standing near their town, its head hidden behind thunderclouds. The authorities decided to urgently evacuate the city, and soon there was no one left. Only one person remained. It was a mad priest who roamed the deserted streets shouting that God himself had chosen them to ascend to heaven, and that the giant was not a monster, but God's assistant, who would grant all believers unprecedented blessings. Of course, there was no one left to listen to the ravings of the lunatic. Several months passed, and the monster remained motionless near the town. Then it was decided that it was harmless, and all the residents returned to their homes. As the months passed, the town continued with its life as before. People got used to the constant presence of the motionless monster and didn't even notice it. But one day, the weather turned bad again and a hurricane came. The creature moved and lowered its giant tentacles to the ground. The first person it grabbed was the mad priest. The monster caught the priest with its tentacles and raised him up to the sky, while he laughed and shouted that he had been chosen by God himself. That was the last time anyone saw him. Now friends, decide for yourselves what to believe. Was the priest eaten, or did he find eternal peace in heaven? And tell us what you think of Day 17. The best and most unusual comments will be featured in the next video. By the way, your likes let us know if you're interested in this topic, and if we should continue to make similar videos. So click that thumbs up. See you next week!